News is an integral part of our lives. We can read, listen, or watch news from around the world at home. News is not just about winning medals or accidents on the road. It covers a wide range of topics that affect human life. News informs us about what is happening worldwide and helps us understand and evaluate the details. The main objective of news is to provide knowledge, to enlighten the society, and to make people aware of the situation. News also reflects the planned activities that result from the events that have already occurred. It answers questions like what happened, when, where, how, and who was involved. Understanding news is important because it helps us make informed decisions and stay knowledgeable about the world. Read about the latest news from an Indian perspective that fills one with pride. Neeraj Chopra, India's javelin thrower, made history at the Tokyo Olympics by winning the gold medal in the men's javelin throw with a fantastic performance of 87.58 meters. He has become the first Indian athlete to win a gold medal in athletics at the Olympics. To evaluate this news, answer the following questions. Which city and country did this news come from? The news came from Tokyo, Japan. Who won the historic gold medal and in which sport? Neeraj Chopra won the historic gold medal in javelin throw. Do you agree with the first sentence of the news? Why or why not? The answer to this question can vary, but providing a logical reason is essential. For instance, I agree with this sentence because it highlights how India made history by winning its first gold medal in javelin throw at Olympics. Which field does this news belong to? This news belongs to the field of sports. Read the news article below and answer the accompanying questions to assess your comprehension. Ankanad app is organizing a webinar series on the book Leelavati by the Indian mathematician Bhaskaracharya. The webinar aims to create interest in mathematics among the students. Dr. Sudhakar Agarkar, a renowned researcher and mathematics teacher, will guide the webinar. The webinar will be held on 13th and 14th August at 5:30 p.m. Now here are the questions to evaluate your understanding. What is the topic of the webinar? How long is the webinar? What is the purpose of the webinar? Who will be guiding the webinar? Who is organizing the webinar? Do you think the webinar is necessary? Let's try to answer the above questions. What is the topic of the webinar? Leelavati by Bhaskaracharya is the topic of the webinar. How long is the webinar? The webinar is for 2 days. What is the purpose of the webinar? The purpose of the webinar is to create interest and curiosity among the students about mathematics. Who will be guiding the webinar? Dr. Sudhakar Agarkar will be guiding the webinar. Who is organizing the webinar? Ankanad app is organizing the webinar. Do you think the webinar is necessary? For this question, we can have 2 answers. Dr. Agarkar explains these topics and their guidance is essential. And I have interest in Leelavati. If you can answer these questions, you will understand the news well. Now this news is related to education. Remember the headline, date, place, duration, affiliated person and news details when reading any information. Writing and evaluating news requires practice and attention to reading, listening and writing. Information may be related to cultural, sports, political, educational, social, medical, scientific, literary and daily events. Writing and evaluating news are skills that can be developed with practice. Reading, listening and writing regularly are essential to improve these skills. What did we learn? If you can answer the questions what, when, where, how and who after reading a news article, it means you have correctly evaluated the news. Understanding the context of the news is necessary to evaluate properly. News is an inseparable part of daily life. Writing and evaluating news can be improved with practice. Exercise. Read and answer questions about news articles. Identify the chief guest, precedent, and answer questions related to the article. Srijan Anand School celebrates science with a grand festival. Students and teachers of Srijan Anand School in Ratnagiri showcase their passion and talent for science at a 5-day festival that concluded on Science Day. The virtual presence of Mr. Raghunath Mashelkar, a renowned scientist and former Director General of CSIR, graced the celebration. Mr. Mashelkar, also a recipient of the Padma Vibhushan, delivered an inspiring speech on the importance of science and the need for a scientific perspective in our lives. He praised the students for their curiosity and creativity and encouraged them to pursue science as a career and way of life. Mr. Ajay Lele, the school principal, presided over the closing ceremony. He expressed his pride and appreciation for the students and teachers who organized the festival. He also thanked Mr. Mashelkar for his valuable guidance and support. The highlight of the festival was the students' exhibition of 50 science projects on various topics such as robotics, renewable energy, biotechnology, astronomy, etc. The projects were displayed in different classrooms and labs, which attracted many visitors from other schools and colleges, parents and media. The visitors were impressed by the level of innovation and knowledge displayed by the students. They interacted with them and gave them feedback and suggestions. Some projects that drew attention were a robot that could play chess, a wind turbine model, an experiment on yogurt making using bacteria, and a telescope that could observe stars and planets. The festival was an excellent opportunity for the students to showcase their skills and passion for science and to learn from an eminent scientist. It also created awareness and interest among the public about science and its applications. Questions. Who is Mr. Raghunath Mashelkar? When was the closing ceremony of the festival held? How many science projects were displayed by the students? What were some of the topics of the projects? You can choose any newspaper and find 2 sports news articles. Based on these articles, you can prepare at least 4 questions each and write their answers in your own words.